The 2024 annual meetings opened on a bright note. The International Monetary Fund sees worldwide inflation cool from 6.7% in 2023 to 5.8% in 2024 and 4.3% in 2025.
We will cherish the good news, and rightly so, because we haven't had much of it lately. The big global inflation wave is in retreat. A combination of resolute monetary policy action, easing supply chain constraints, and moderating food and energy prices is guiding us back in the direction of price stability.
It was not an easy path to achieve this, and the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, resounds the lessons.
Was affected by that. But I think to have the ability and the humility to recognize that, okay, we got that wrong, and we need to reassess, and we need to re-examine what analytical tools we have, what models we use, how we are prepared to be receptive to different indicators and instruments. I think that was helpful as well.
Due to geopolitical
Unfortunately,
tensions,
the low-income countries are still struggling with high inflation and interest rates. And the risk of elevated inflation for other parts of the world is not over.
There are reasons to remain vigilant. Oil prices have been rising, in part due to geopolitical tensions, and services inflation remains stubbornly high in many countries. Further trade restrictions could also push up goods inflation. Bringing inflation back to target should remain the priority.
Ajay Banga for his thoughts on the topic.
Among other approaches of staying cautious, the World Bank Group is calling for attention to agriculture and food as engine of sustainable growth and jobs creation.
We've spoken about the potential of agribusiness. We are combining a new way of working with a new level of investment, doubling our agri-finance and agribusiness commitments across the group to $9 billion annually by 2030.
Another highlight of the year's meeting is the 80th anniversary of the IMF and the World Bank Group. The commemoration comes with responsibilities and the need to adapt to new global challenges. There are requests to the form of changes from member countries.
Civil society organizations in Africa and in Nigeria in particular are demanding and requesting for a total reforms in the governance framework and relation in IMF, World Bank. This is because we believe that there's need to democratize and ensure more transparency and accountability in the IMF, World Bank, framework. It is absolutely important to understand that many countries in Africa, economy is falling down, and lack of information from both governments in countries and also from the IMF that will hold government accountable for its financial dealings with financial institutions, continue to create gaps, continue to create doubt, continue to create rumors.
The global financial architecture itself is not fully reformed. Either when a country comes to the IMF for loan or if they go to the global market for loan, there are structural impediments that are there. One of those is the rating, the work of the rating agency. So African leaders are still asking that while the third share has been added, this is not enough.
It's been an intense week of conversations, and every part of the world has been represented, and their issues have been brought to the table from the countries who are debt stressed, the low-income countries, and the developed countries. The developing countries and their issues have also been discussed during the meetings in this past week. The results should be by this time next year during the annual meetings of 2025. After consultation, some of those reforms that will help both the IMF and the World Bank handle financial issues of the world more fairly will be brought to the table with the intention to build a new phase for the two institutions. And then after that, by 2026, the world will be heading to Thailand for Thailand 2026. And I'm sure they are preparing to host the world then. But for now, I'm John Mekwa signing out from Washington, D.C. at the annual meetings venue.